this artist thing that you were doing for?
You're live.
Well, we're live on Facebook?
On Facebook.
Oh, okay. Hi, everyone. It's Christian Portilla. This is Valentin Mera.
Hello, everybody.
Make sure to tune in to jotradio.org if you want to hear us on the airwaves, or you can also go to the app Jot Radio. And then now you can go to my profile and share the video.
Yes, hold on a second.
Right.
I will do that.
Yeah.
I'm going to start it off and just play a little bit of the intro.
Okay, go for it.
Off we go. Your headphones are all right?
Yeah, everything is good. Can you
Yeah.
hear yourself good on the mic?
Yes.
You're
Not
gonna
yet,
hear
right?
yourself
Ahorita.
open.
Okay. So if you go to Christian Portilla, if you go to my
No.
profile,
No veo el live.
you're on my profile?
Huh?
You're on my profile?
Yeah, but I don't. Yeah, because I follow you, right?
Okay.
But I don't see this
The
one. Hold on.
option?
No.
It lags a little bit, but you should be able to see it.
Oh,
Oh.
I see myself.
All right. I'm bringing you
We're
in.
coming in? Okay. Peace world, welcome to Meet Them Mondays on Jot Radio. I'm your host, Christian Portilla, and June is Pride Month, and to celebrate, I invited Valentin Mera to the studio with me to share his coming out story. Unfortunately, our other guest canceled, so it's just you and me, Valentin.
Well, we will make this hour very valuable to everybody.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for being here.
No, my pleasure, my pleasure.
So before we begin, I would like for you to introduce yourself to our listeners and tell us about your career and the work that you do.
Well, my name now is Valentin Mera. I'm a singer-songwriter. I am an actor, and I'm an MC. I've also done TV hosting. I hustle a lot. I'm always everywhere doing everything I can. And I've been doing this for 17 years, mainly under the name of Diana Mera, which was my former name till a few months ago. So it's been a very nice career. I've got to travel a lot, to meet a lot of people, to do a lot of very cool things. And now, as Valentin Mera, in a way, I'm starting again, but not really, but yes,
Yeah.
you know?
Awesome. And I guess we can get right into it. When did you understand that sexuality was not only hetero?
Well, this is the thing now, because in my current reality, I would be hetero. So it's been a journey for me, because gender wise, when I was 4, I knew there was something up. Like something is up. I remember it was at Christmas, and I had asked my family. I used to live in Mexico. I'm not Mexican, but I used to live there as a child, and I had asked them for a car. You know, a car. My family was wealthy, so I was asking for a car that I could sit in, and you know. So they got me like a life-size doll, and it was the most horrible thing for me to receive a doll. Like any child, any girl would have been like the happiest, you know. And I sat everybody down, and I was like, let's have a meeting. And I'm 4, you know, and I talk like this when I'm a kid, and I always had the same personality. So
Yeah.
it's not that I grew into it. No, I was like that.
Yeah.
And so I told them, you know, there is a mistake here. I was supposed to be born a boy. Well, I'm a girl, but at least, you know, let's get it with the gifts. You know, at least, you know.
Let's get it right.
Yeah,
With the
and
gifts.
so they were cool. They didn't know that I was this was going to happen, like, 2,000 years later, you know, but my godfather took me like for a military haircut and got me some boyish clothes, and it was cool, and I was fine till I was 11, that I started developing, and I was like, oh, so that wasn't a magic haircut. Like life continues on. So I used to like girls when I was 4, when I was 11. I always thought I was a boy, and then I had to acclimate to becoming this lesbian.
Right.
And so it was a very complicated situation for me because it's very uncomfortable. It was very uncomfortable for me.
I'm surprised to hear that your family was very supportive, right? And accepting of this and took you to get... And I guess I
don't think they knew. They were just like, I was very artistic, very opinionative. I would sing with mariachi. Like, nothing was so surprising for me. My family was very eclectic, very progressive.
Okay.
And we had lived in Europe, and and they were cool. And it helped me because for those 7 years till I was 11, I felt pretty normal. Right. I felt well. I felt good. And then at 11, and my breasts started to grow, and boys started to look at me, and I was like, this is gay. Because what happened? What happened? Like, I don't like boys, but boys like me. But I like the girls. The girls want to be my friends. And so I was that person that had a lot of best friends.
So when you say this is gay, that was what you were telling yourself. Okay, what I'm feeling is called gay.
Like, I was like, since I felt I was a boy, I was like, these boys are gay.
Oh,
the boys are gay. They like me. And then I realized that I was turning into a woman. And it was horrific because I was not that I was not educated enough to understand that I was going to develop, but I really thought
absolutely
that I wasn't.
Yeah.
And so I had to go through this puberty and whatever, and my mother was very frantic of being popular. And so she dressed me up and took me to like shopping, and you have to be, the number one girl at the high school. We lived in Peru back then.
Okay.
So all of a sudden I was womanized. My mother started to get worried that her priority was for me to be popular.
Okay.
Period. I don't have a relationship with my mother for other reasons that we can talk later if you want. But her priority was that I was popular, that I was beautiful, that I was perfect, that I was desired, that I was, her image, basically.
But did you identify with that?
No. And so it was like a whole transformation that my mother did on me. I was like very, simple, popular against all odds because I was different. Yeah. And I was still popular.
Yeah.
But when I hit puberty, she was afraid that I was going to be, left behind. So I went to a hair salon, I had a makeover, like all what girls dreamed, I had. But for me, when my mother put me in a tight dress and put me, like I was 13, and I looked like I was a 20-year-old woman. I think there's a lot wrong there, but in Peru, it was okay. Girls wanted to grow up, here you see girls in Miami, they want to grow up. So I was womanized and I was beautiful. So I was hot in school and boys wanted to date me and girls envy me. And I was like,
yeah. So how did you feel about that in your head, like knowing that? Were you in essence okay with the attention that you were receiving because at least you were getting attention? Did that kind of like delay what
everything delayed me, and attention I always had. I always had attention. I never crave attention of any kind, but I was I was hot but very serious, so more wanted even, because when you dress like that, you want, it's because you want the boy, whatever. I didn't want the boy, any boy, whatever. And so I was hard to get and very like produced by my mother, makeup artist, and I had hair and everything done. So I was a produced child,
So explain to me, and let's backtrack a little bit, because how do you identify in terms of your sexuality, right? And then how is that different as how you identify in terms of your gender?
I identify as a male, as a man. I am legally a man.
Okay.
So by the law and by my spirit and my heart, I am a man. And I like women, so that will make me heterosexual. Not to say that I don't belong to the queer community and I'm part of, I'm the T.
Yes.
On our community.
Right.
But that will be like to clarify it,
Right.
Like my friends say, now you used to be a powerful lesbian, that were making changes in the world. Now you're just a straight man. That's a downgrade.
Oh, wow.
And I agree.
Oh,
I agree. Women are so powerful. I lived as a woman almost for 40 years.
Okay.
And I learned so much. And without that, I would have never been able to have you have to have courage to be in my scenario.
Yeah.
And I learned so much about being a woman, about how, we, in this moment I will include myself, because I was a we, with women.
Mm-hmm.
And although I never identified, the struggle is real, the injustices are there.
Right.
And now that I'm in a way in the other side, I see it even more.
Yeah.
I see it even more. And I probably shouldn't say this on air, on interviews, on anything, but when I disclosed my new gender to my insurance company, I got a discount. And things are cheaper for me. So
please speak on it. I mean, it's not a surprise to anyone.
So as a male, I want to advocate for females,
right.
And they're still my favorite group. I mean, you guys have sheltered me, have nourished me, have protected me from everything.
Yeah.
So if I really didn't want to identify as a man, I really wouldn't, because as a woman, I had a lot of beauty. I had a lot of, not that I don't now, but it's different, and
of
you
course.
have to adjust
Yeah.
to the power that when you're a woman you have, and when you're a man, not really. It's different powers.
Yeah.
And going back to what you asked, if these transformations that I got when I was a child delayed, everything delayed, because I thought I was growing up in a time in the 90s. No internet, nothing. I came here as an immigrant when I was 14 years old. I ran away from my house. I was working, going to high school, working, paying myself a bedroom in someone's house. And I wanted to change my gender. I wanted to be a male because I had fallen in love with a girl.
Yeah.
And I found an article, back in the day, I don't know how young you are, but there was these monitors that you would slide the newspapers.
Mm-hmm.
It was it took a long time. And I saw an article of this man that had done surgery in Italy.
Okay.
And he was now a soccer coach or something. And I was like, oh,
this is possible.
You can go to Italy and you can have this surgery, and he had his haircut and his blazer, and he looked so elegant and kind of looked like the man in my family, very elegant.
Yeah.
And so, but I was 14, studying at night, working in the morning.
But from then you still had that idea.
Maybe
it was just at the time not as accessible to you.
Not at all. But I was like, that would be way. One day, and I thought I could go. I had no idea what it entailed to have surgeries of that nature. But I liked this girl, and I was like, I will go have my surgery.
To be with her?
And I'll come back as my brother, because I was raised with novelas too. So you combine that, and I come back as that brother that, Diana died.
Yeah.
I'm here, and so I had that fantasy. That never happened. But that was the first time that I actually considered an actual transition,
You're listening to Meet Them Mondays on Jolt Radio. I'm your host, Christian Portilla, and I'm here with Valentin Mera. And we are talking about transition and about coming out. And you have two coming out stories.
Yes.
Because initially you came out as
a lesbian,
and then you came out, or you transitioned as a man.
Yes.
You, from what we've spoken about, you always knew that you wanted to transition. Even as a 4-year-old.
Yes.
Maybe you didn't know that that's what transitioning was. But when did you decide that you were like, okay, I'm not a lesbian anymore and I need to transition? Take me to that moment. What was that realization? What was your age? Because you said it was not that long ago.
Right. It's been a long process for me, because when I was 21, I became a known singer. I was doing interviews national with Despierta América, El Gordo y la Flaca, my videos were playing in VH1 and stuff like that. And so I was this woman with a career, and so I was like, okay, this is not the time. And I constantly thought about it, and I was very feminized to do this project as an artist. So I was constantly feeling like I was put on a custom to do this. Years passed, I'm 28, I'm like, I can't anymore, I can't. I moved to California, I was like, I don't fit in, I don't like the relationships I have with women. I would like a girl, but when they like me as a girl, I didn't like that. and I didn't like to be touched as a girl.
Right.
But I wanted to touch her as a girl, and it was an unfair deal. So I had to cut deals with most of my relationships.
Wow.
And it's a horrible thing. And I love them all. Please do not get offended. But it was, I thought I had to give in to be in relationships, especially, intimate. So it was very hard, and it kind of broke me down little by little by little. And then I had a separation with an ex like 3-4 years ago, and I was single and very happy and mingling and whatever. And so I was like, I really don't like this anymore. Like,
right.
I rather
and having to have these talks and these bargains,
and they never really knew what my deal was. I always thought I was genderqueer, I was eccentric, I was an artist, whatever. And so I would tell girls, in a casual setting, hey, by gender, BOI, 10,000 terms that they're out there, that really don't fit me, but I was trying to fit in them.
Yeah.
And then I was like, you know what? I have a very good career, but if I lose it, fine. I'm 38. And I was like, I'd rather never ever be with anyone. La chingada. Because I'm going to become a man, live very happy, and have my coffee in the morning as a man. Because that's all I want.
Yeah.
Really. And so when I met my
and forget everything else.
I don't need a partner, I don't need anything. And so I met my wife, and on the second day I told her, I'm like, if you're looking for a girlfriend, woman, whatever, I'm going in another direction.
Yeah. You had it at that point. You were like, I'm done with this.
Ya no puedo más, y no es justo tampoco. Yeah. It's not fair for these people that have, dedicated their time to me, and I love them very much.
Yeah.
But I was struggling with myself. It's not that I knew it, and and they know. Like,
this was a journey of self-discovery, a long journey of self-discovery.
And it's hard when you're getting not older. I'm still young, but you're older. You have a career. You have respect. You have connection. You have a brand. You have fans. You have Latino fans. You have Mexican fans. Basically, it's a disaster when you put it in paper. It's like, really? Now you want to be a man and throw your career away and never date. That's,
wow.
And I thought that would be a great idea. And I'm very happy. And my now wife, when I told her I'm going to have a surgery, and I was trying to push her away, really, because I was done.
You don't want to. You were like, you don't want to deal with this.
I'm not gonna be your girlfriend. Whatever, or whatever. And she was like, I'll take care of you when you have your surgery. She was like, I'll be here. And I laughed, and we laughed, and I was like, you don't know me, She's like, yeah, but if anything, I'll take care of you. Don't worry. And so now she's my wife, so she will take care of me. Yes, and I started doing my transition, and it was kind of like it took me by surprise how ready I was, because while I started a relationship with her, then I had already cut my hair. I had long hair.
And when was this? What year was this?
A year before. I met my wife last year.
Okay.
The year before, so 2 years ago.
Okay, 2 years ago.
I had long hair. And if you anyone who wants to snoop, you go my Instagram down and you will find a woman. I haven't deleted. I'm not hiding.
Yeah.
And I cut my hair because the dysphoria was so big that I couldn't contain it anymore. I had just had a concert at the art center.
Okay.
And it was great. It was a success.
In your previous gender.
In my previous gender. And so I would say 2 weeks after that concert, I was wearing a blazer, and I always had that masculinity, but it was more eccentric.
Yeah.
But I had eyelashes, and I know how to do my makeup and everything, and I started having dysphoria really, really bad, really, really bad. And I decided to cut my hair. It took me a year to take another step. I don't want to date, I don't want to, nothing. And then it's been little by little. Then I got with my doctor. My doctor, I think, in a way, broke down my fears of what normal is, because when we were doing my form, he's like, until you change your name, we have to keep Diana on the file, but I'm gonna put male.
Right.
And I broke down. Because when you're seen as you, everything is so much better.
Of
It's just so much better. And so I began with that. Then they said I didn't need to change my name. I could just change the gender marker.
Yeah.
But it makes no sense to be called Diana.
And your gender marker. Yeah,
it's more confusing.
Yeah.
And the Diana was never attached. I'm attached to my last name. And so Valentin became
Valentin Mera.
Yes.
How did you pick your name?
It was my favorite name since I was a kid.
Okay.
And I always offered it to my friends that had kids. They never took it. So
it was always yours.
Yeah, and so my wife reminded me of that, and she's like, "How about Valentin?" And I cried. Now it's funny. As a woman, I was very strong and very never crying, very and very doña, la Felix. Yes, you know, seria and very like that. Now I cry for everything, for any reason. Very sensitive now. It's the walls are gone.
Yeah.
So, I did that legally. You have to go to court.
And maybe too, at the time, you didn't want to associate with feelings or emotions that would have been seen as feminine, right?
Probably.
You know what I mean? But when you see a male cry, or the way that people view it is like, oh, he's sensitive. Oh, he's in tune. Oh. And even though, because men aren't supposed to cry, right? That's what we're told.
We all should cry.
Yeah, absolutely.
Honestly.
Yeah.
The reason why I was so stiff as a woman, my mother prohibited me from crying and expressing any emotion. So I was raised as a robot, okay? And now I'm no longer a robot because I can be me and I feel so happy. And it's something very interesting. I'm very loved by a lot of people. I have an amazing group of people, professionally, personal, family. I'm fortunate, and I've always had it. Yeah. But now that I am Valentin, I can actually feel it, because they love me for who I really am.
Yeah. And you love you in a different way.
Yes, and it's fascinating. It's
it's euphoric, right?
Yes, I'm happy. I'm very grateful. Some days are good, some days are not very good, because I'm in the process of getting my surgery. There's wait times. There's things that I have to comply and do. Now that the legal stuff is done, I can rest a little bit, because it was a battle. A positive one, but still. When you have to go to the Social Security and explain that, and I want to say to all the federal offices that I've been to, Social Security, the court, driver license, amazing people.
Oh yeah,
I've been treated as a kin, so I am very grateful.
That's good that we have that here.
Yes, especially here. Yes, yeah. So I feel blessed. It's been good, but it's very new.
Yeah,
it's very new.
You're listening to Meet Them Mondays. I'm your host, Christian Portilla. I'm here with Valentin Mera, and we're talking about coming out and his coming out story as a trans man. We're celebrating Pride Month, so I'm really happy about that. And when you decided to come out as trans, who was the first person you told?
Probably it was my wife. Now, because she was, I started talking to her, and I'm like, I think I want to change my name. And so then I talked to my best friend, whose family, and she's a she, but we call each other brothers, since whatever. So my brothers, because she would be mad if I call her my sister on the radio. Soledad Herrada, who's an amazing producer, and she's directed music videos for me and everything. I told her, and she's the one that contacted me with her doctor.
Okay.
Who is a general doctor, but also treats trans patients. And so her answer was I'm going to take you to my doctor. We're going to make an appointment. She took me, everything, and she was there when the doctor, interviewed me and everything. So I've had the support of, I'm just a very fortunate case.
Yeah.
My case is different, because I don't find a case like me anywhere. Because most of them end in suicide. Someone killed them, beat them up, insulted them, the family threw them. No, I don't speak with my mother for other reasons, and my father for other reasons. I was an abused child, and there's a whole project about it in YouTube called Sobreviviente.
Yeah, tell us about that.
So, but what I want to say, I have a mom that is not my mom, but she's been in my life for the last 20 years.
Okay.
And she was the one that cut my hair. She's the one that was with me at the wedding. she's the one that is teaching me to sit up straight now, to, you know, like be more gentleman like.
Yeah.
And so I adore her. She's in Los Angeles, and her response to me was very funny, because I called her on FaceTime and I told her, hey, I'm gonna have a surgery, this is gonna happen, I'm a he now, blah blah blah. And she goes like, are you gonna keep your nipples? And I'm like, yeah, I'm keeping my nipples. Then what's the problem? And so since then she's fine, and you know, she loves my wife, and she's the one that has the pronouns
Okay.
better than anybody.
Oh yeah.
Not even us. Like,
Yeah.
I make mistakes,
You do.
but she and my wife's dad, they both rock with the pronouns.
That's
like they're
awesome.
correcting us, or
Yeah.
correcting, you know, because it's new. So
yeah.
you know, you change.
So you're gentle with people about the pronouns.
Yes, I mean, you feel the intention in the voice, in the tone.
Yeah.
So I cannot be fooled.
Right.
If you make a mistake, I'm going to feel it,
Yeah.
and there's nothing wrong with that.
Right.
But if there's an intention behind, which no one has done that to me,
Yeah.
I will feel it.
Of course.
And I will call you on it, or maybe not, or just ignore you that day and probably the future, because I'm very,
You're sure of what you feel, of what you think, and all those things, and your feelings, and that energy doesn't lie. You know what I mean?
yeah.
Like you always feel las intenciones de la gente.
Yes, you feel it, if you make a mistake. I sometimes make mistakes, especially in Spanish, because Spanish you have to change
Of course.
every single thing. In English it's not that hard.
Yeah.
In English I don't make mistakes, but in Spanish I still do.
Yeah.
And I laugh about it.
Yeah.
And I also think that
That's
as a,
cool that you've been able to keep like your sense of
Yeah.
humor in it.
but as a male, what am I gonna become now? A macho who can never take anything, like, I mean,
No.
I cannot have lived as a
No te puedes
woman.
amargar.
No, I've lived as a woman to learn to be progressive, to learn to be feminist, to learn to be intelligent.
Yes.
I cannot now be a man y ser un bruto
Of course.
and not understand that people are transitioning with me,
Yeah.
that they love me, and they were people that were so happy for my wedding, and they were commenting like, Dianita, congratulations.
Of course.
And
And a part of it too is educating the community, right?
yes,
I think sometimes as Latinx, Latinos, Latinas, it's a little harder sometimes to educate the elders, and but they're getting there. And I notice it too with my family, with other families online.
yeah, well,
They
my
understand.
family has been like my new family, that and my family in Peru too. Like, I
Yeah.
have family in Peru, I have family in Ecuador, and they all have the pronouns great. There's a sister that I never told her directly, and she just made a comment, I love you, congratulations, big bro, Valentin, and she
Oh.
broke me down. She doesn't know this, but I was like so moved by it, because there's people that I didn't have to tell them. They
Yeah.
saw my social media, and they wrote private messages to make sure what were the pronouns.
Beautiful.
I have like my mom's mom.
Yeah.
She's almost 80, and she has the pronouns so well. And when I called her to tell her also, she was like, finally.
They get it.
He was like, finally. I always knew something was up, and like, I'm glad you found yourself.
Cool.
And I'm like, so everybody knew, and I was just struggling
I was
here, trying to do,
catch up.
I thought it was going to be such a
A moment.
I'm still waiting for my drama moment. Like,
Yeah.
I thought it was going to be such a big deal.
I don't think it might come. Just letting you know.
I talked to my best friend in Los Angeles. She's like, you were like one step from it. She's like, and
That's
so
cool.
it's been good. Like, I think everybody now even feels more comfortable with me
Yeah.
than before, because
Yeah.
they're like, it's like
It's
they
because
get
you
it now.
And you've also gotten it too, and you've also accepted yourself, and the energy that is around that is light and positive and different, and you make it very approachable and very easy, because you're also educating people. You know what I mean?
I want people to learn with the transition. I am as a woman, I lived in a role. I'm an actor, and that woman, I can play her at any time.
Yeah.
And I would love to do that again, but I want to go home and be the man that I am. In my scenario, I always say it in interviews. I'm a person of privilege because I have immense support. I am completely independent from anyone. I have a career. I have my talents. I can work anywhere. I have all this whole structure.
Yeah, you have support.
Yeah, but not many people have it.
Yeah.
So I want to talk about it so that if one person today thought, I'm not going to be accepted, I'm weird, because I understand the dysphoria, and sometimes I don't want to go out either. It's hard now for me to go out until I get the surgery, stuff like that. Like, I'm going through stuff.
When you say the surgery, you mean top surgery?
The top surgery, it's very important for me because I just want to be free, But when a kid is 16 years old and they're at home and they feel inadequate and the family doesn't understand, I don't imagine, because the dysphoria, I only have it, it's me alone. Everybody's there to support me. My wife has learned every single way of how to get around it. Like, I am supported beyond.
But this is something that no one else can help you with. This is you with yourself.
Exactly.
And your body.
But I'm supported.
Yes.
If someone is in my scenario without support, I understand. Why would you want to kill yourself? Because you don't accept yourself and others don't. So others agree with you. And I accept myself. But you have moments where you want things to speed up and you want things to be done. And I just started this process. I'm going on the fast lane, actually. I'm the fastest. When the moment I decided, I got my name on May 21st. I'm already ahead of the game. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's good. But it's important for me to talk about it, to make it also like, this is what it looks like.
Yeah. To be visible.
Yeah, it's like a person. Like that, only.
Absolutely. That's exactly
I look like a person.
You're a human being.
Yes.
Just like all of us. We're going to go ahead and take a quick break. When we come back, this is Meet Them Mondays. You're listening to Valentin Mera and Christian Portilla. Can you believe that it's already 7:37?
Oh, wow.
I know. It goes by super fast. Remember, we're still live on Facebook. Were you able to...
Yes.
Okay,
I shared it.
awesome.
Yes.
I want to definitely talk about... I know you want to talk about the disparity of having support and having privilege.
Yes.
But I also want to talk about your wife and about this relationship.
Sure.
And talk about how it was, because you guys were just getting together when you were going through these and accepting these things, and then now to them now being married,
Yeah.
I think it would be really interesting.
Yes. She's awesome.
Yeah. I wish I would have been able to talk to you guys a little bit more that day.
Yeah, I'm so sorry. It's just we got there we were there for an hour.
Oh wow.
And then we had a graduation of like two girls that are Mexican that are singers.
Okay.
They're twins. And they recorded something with me.
Okay.
It was a graduation and their birthday party. So I was like tienes que ir, and I love them so much. So
remember, we'll be talking about the Sobreviviente project.
yes.
It's a thing we want to talk about.
Yes. That project has given me a lot.
Yeah. I saw the video.
Thank
I
you.
saw it. It was really cool. And I love that you were so vocal. This is not for you guys to come and talk to me after the show and tell me to make up with my mom. Like, no. I was like, I love that so much because, people sometimes they try to be nice, but they overstep themselves.
I don't allow you.
I love that.
I don't allow you.
I love that. I loved it so much.
I learned that as a woman.
Yeah.
I always had a very strong personality, and now it's not changing. Now I feel though I have to be nicer.
Oh, yeah?
Yes, because as a woman you're just very like,
you can get away
you
with being
whatever.
sassy. Or,
I will have very long hair. I still do the gestures.
Yeah.
And my wife is like, darling, but nothing is there.
Like this.
And I do that a lot. I used to do it, and I feel that sometimes people need to get instructions
Yeah.
to how they're gonna see this show, and that we're not friends,
Yeah.
But if you come and talk to me after a show,
We're gonna
coming
come back. Yeah.
you know, prepárate.
Prepárate. Right, we gotta throw some salsa. That was Willy Colon, El Gran Barón. This is Mita Mondays. I'm your host, Christian Portilla, and I'm here with Valentin Mera. So, Valentin, we were just talking about coming out, about transitioning,
Yes.
the surgery, the top surgery that you're looking forward to,
Yes.
and also you recently got married.
I did.
Congrats! That was 3 weeks ago.
That was 2 weeks ago.
Amazing.
This week is gonna be 3 weeks on Thursday.
Felicidades.
Gracias,
I'm
gracias,
so happy
gracias.
for you both. And I'm curious to know about your partner, about the support that you received, but also because when you were in the beginning stages of the transition and you met her, and she decided to support you along with this. Respectfully, I would like to ask about her and how does she feel in terms of her sexuality? Because before, let's say, she would have, before in your previous gender, she would have been considered a lesbian, right?
Mm-hmm.
And how did she deal with that? And how did her sexuality also come into play with your transition?
Well, my wife was bisexual when I met her, and she's very open-minded, and she does not. She's so open-minded that it blows me away, and I thought I was open-minded. She teaches me things every day. I've asked her, for example, before the wedding happened, I was like, now you're gonna marry me, and what happens? Are you gonna be okay? And she's like, well, you were always you. Who, people talk about the Diana that you were, but I never met her. When I met you, you had already made your decision.
Yeah.
And you were you. And so for me, I was attracted to you. And that you are now Valentin, it's perfect. And if you would have remained Diana, perfect too. But she's like, I see now how, as Valentin, you're shining. And I'm like falling in love with you even more because of what you're bringing to the relationship in terms of, my honesty, how happy I am and everything. And so for her, for what she's explained to me, it hasn't really done anything because she's those people that can fall in love with the soul, and not that she does not find me handsome and attractive because she's told me. Yes. So it's not like, oh yeah, she does. No, she does see what she sees.
Yeah.
But she says, I am me, and her sexuality, she's very sure of what she likes, and she's not, threatened by this. I don't know if this would have been the same scenario if I would have been with a woman that identifies as a lesbian solely.
Right.
Then, I've heard stories of women that go through this. I think it would have been harder. Years ago, like 10 years ago, I tried to propose transitioning, and I was shut down.
To a previous partner.
Yes.
Okay.
And so, when I mention this in any relationship, because I will
throw it out there and see.
And it was like, no, like it's people that support you in everything,
Yeah.
but it's not really everything.
Right.
And as a woman, they prefer me better than my masculine side.
Of
And I was
course.
always very hurt by that.
Yeah.
But now I understand because,
yeah,
of course,
sexuality
is
and
what
how
it
they,
is.
Yeah, and with you transitioning, then that would mean something for them and their identity.
Exactly. So, and now it's different because my wife, feliz de la vida ella, ya cambió su nombre a Mera. La señora Mera nos está escuchando. Hola, gordita. Para que pase vergüenza. She's super cool about it. She's playing that to her family. I mean, everything.
Do you feel that it was easier? Or how about this? How did you feel? Was it easier for you to say that you were gay or a lesbian before, as opposed to coming out and saying I'm trans? how were both of these coming out scenarios accepted by community, by people, by society?
Well, when I came out as a lesbian, I really haven't had bad experiences. What I did was I did a booklet, a whole booklet, and I distributed it to my family and friends for them to read.
That's the artist in
And
you.
and here is my, here's what's happening, and I put statistics of that it's normal, that it's not an illness, that it had been removed from the books, like whatever bullshit they could come. You have a booklet about
Read
me,
it, yeah.
about statistics, about the penguins, about whatever it was happening back then. I was like, I don't know, 17, 16, and so there was no problem. But I always felt like
Like you weren't completely out.
I felt like I don't know, like for example, you have a girlfriend, you're invited somewhere, they're like, hi ladies, como que like I felt like they were throwing acid at me.
You know what happens to me when I'm out? I mean, because it's such a way of talking, but if I'm out y estoy con mi esposa and people are like, hi guys, welcome, welcome to this restaurant. I know it sounds so silly,
Yes.
but when they're like, hey guys, like inside of me I'm like, we're not guys. Like, hey ladies would be better for me.
Right.
I know it sounds so silly, but
But
it's those little things,
But it's
in your
what you
head.
identify. It's like, for me, it's like when something is out of tune, in
Okay.
a song. So everything is going well, and then the
there's that
guitar
tune.
snaps or something like that. And for me, it was like that. And so I felt, I felt something odd with the lesbian community that I didn't understand, because I was proud of it. I was part of the community. I did a lot for the community. I was visible beyond belief. I did everything I could to, to talk about it, to be visible and everything. And I did it with all my heart. But deep inside, I always felt like,
There's still something missing.
and I thought that the gender thing, I will get over it. Like, I thought I have to get over it.
But then how, when you decided to come out or as trans and begin your transition, how did the community react? Was it easier for you to just be like, hey, I'm gay, that's it, end of story, as opposed to now saying I'm trans and having to explain that more? Because I still feel that the trans community there's still a lot of learning there to be done. So did you feel like it was more like of an effort to say, hey, I'm trans, as opposed to just like, hey, I'm a lesbian or I'm gay, this is what it is, and that's it, end of story?
I feel that as a lesbian and as an artist, when I came out, I never had a came out. They interviewed me in a magazine, they put me on a cover of a magazine, and inside the person asked me about the women I was dating, and I had recently gotten divorced.
Okay.
And I talked about it freely. So it was like, oh my God.
And you had divorced whom?
Someone.
Okay.
A wife.
A wife.
Okay. Always a wife.
Okay.
And so I talked about it, very, very casual. And so it was like, oh my God, she's out,
Okay.
But I had always been out. And then I did red carpets, and I kissed one of my exes in a Billboard red carpet in 2012.
Yeah.
And it was the first women to ever kiss on a awards carpet in the Latino community. And I was the first one. And I'm proud of that. I'm still proud of that. We did that.
Yeah.
That happened. And someone saw it and saw that you can be successful. You can be on a red carpet and kiss, as a woman, your girlfriend. I happened to, had been going through other things gender-wise, but it does not take, the power that we had at the time.
Yeah.
I think as a trans person now, my resources are, as a person, my resources are bigger. My structure is bigger. Everything is bigger. So I'm not feeling the impact that I would have felt if I would have come out as a trans man when I was 16 years old.
Yeah.
So my
'Cause
coming
you're more
out as
established now in all the senses of the word financially.
I'm protected by
Yeah.
so many people and by my independence and by everything that I cannot compare it. And also the temper that I have, I think protects me a lot. I'm willing to talk about being transgender. I'm here to advocate for transgender people, not for myself, really, because people are advocating for me somewhere else.
Yeah.
El más grande ayuda al más chiquito y así.
Sí.
That's where I'm at. The community, fans-wise, so far so good. I've only gotten, I think, 4 hate mail. And
Y no debería de ser, but...
And it crushed me because I was entering the Social Security office.
Oh, when you read it.
And I was, I wanted to get back in the car. My wife was like, no, camina. Like, like, no pasa nada. There was, some troll there, like, yes, But it impacted me, and I was like, wow.
Because you read those things and you're like, wow, people really feel this way.
And it's not the first time that I've gotten hate mail in my life. But it was the first time I got hate mail about myself, my true self.
Yeah.
So it hurt. But I'm okay now. And
I'm glad.
And I've always been those people. I don't discuss. I don't fight in social media. I block you. And that's it.
Yeah.
Because I have the power to block
you.
you.
You don't want to waste energy.
Yes. I'm not a,
Let me ask you this, because you had such a powerful career. You have such a powerful career. Were you ever afraid of... We're putting out...
Yes, no. So far, I have work. Everything is well.
And as it should be. But
I had fear.
No, that's what I was gonna get to. Did you have fear in terms of your brand, that you would lose followers, that you would lose people, that they would get lost in the shuffle of trying to understand this transition? Even things such as simple as like changing your handles, and especially now that we live in such a social media driven world, and that's a big part of your career. How did that delay you as well, like the social media aspect, the branding aspect, and
yes,
and how you would explain, because you're coming out to all your fans, you're coming out to other people you've worked with.
It's been petrifying. I remember one afternoon with my wife in the house that I was like, what am I doing? I had just bought ValentinMera.com, and I was like, what am I doing? I got petrified by it because I thought I can lose everything. And then she told me, you're not going to lose everything. You're going to gain everything you never had. And so I'm still, every day I wake up and I'm like, maybe I have 1 follower today, But right now, in the stage that I am, it was hard to change the things. I'm still struggling with Facebook.
Why?
4 months request to change Valentin instead of Diana.
And nothing yet?
And nothing. And they, they keep saying it's pending. And I have put a post there, so please go like it. Because
Facebook, listen up.
Instagram has done it. My Twitter is fine. My driver license says Valentin. My social security, my
Facebook
passport.
can't get it together?
I got married as a man, you people.
Okay.
So, Facebook,
Mark, listen up.
Yes, like,
But you know what? I know that can be so, social media this, social media that, whatever. But those things matter. They're important, right? Especially in the times that we're living now.
They do.
For and maybe not in your case, but for jobs, for other people, for people that want to live in their true self. Like, even the smallest things that any other person would take for granted, these things matter.
They do matter so much. And I told my wife, I'm like, I'm just gonna close it. And she's like, you have 25,000 followers, you work hard, and my page is certified. And it's really hard to get a page certified. Right now we're struggling with getting Instagram certified again because I lost the certification with the name change. And then my Spotify now is changed to Valentin Mera. They're changing all my albums retroactive.
Okay.
So it's taking time. So Spotify has it done. Like, I have a channel, it's not the Diana Mera one. Diana Mera is still open, but it's like merging everything.
Yeah.
It was overwhelming. It was I felt fear, a lot of fear.
But can I ask you one thing?
Sure.
Was it worth it?
It's completely worth it. And if I have to go and sing on the street right now and start from the bottom, I am going to do it because it's worth it in my life when I'm in my house, when I'm in my life. Because the thing is that when I was a woman and an artist, great, that wasn't the hardest part of my life. I was fabulous as a woman, and I had a great time. It was fun, but it was hard at home. It was hard with relationships. It was hard to love and be loved.
When the 4 walls are just...
When you have to go to bed and be a woman and wake up as a woman because someone expects you to be. It's very hard. So I have enjoyed a lot when I was single, and I was single for like 3 years, and I think that's when I learned, because I lived like a man when I was alone. But when I had a girlfriend,
you had to put all that away.
I had to be, and I knew how to do it. And I never want to do that again. I never, I don't.
How does it feel to be you and to be in your skin now as Valentin Mera?
I feel that I'm a fortunate person, because I may have 40 more years to live as myself, and I could have easily not jump and just die as a female. And something that I saw was that seniors, like people in their 80s, 90s, are having transitioning in surgeries to die in their correct gender. So I am glad that I'm not having these surgeries to die. I'm doing this to live. So I have a lot of years with my wife, with my family, as Valentin. So it's awesome.
I'm so happy for you.
Thank you.
And what do you think about this transition and how it has changed you physically? Did you ever worry about your voice? Did you ever worry about anything else that had to do with your physical, and how you would keep your career and continue to move as an artist as your true self?
Yes, I'm doing alternative therapies to alter basically to work with the testosterone that I have. I already changed a lot from my previous pictures, because I see it, and I'm very excited. I'm like a kid, like I look, pobrecita mi esposa. But I'm doing alternative therapies. I'm not so far. I've decided not to do the testosterone, the injections.
Okay.
I have my voice. It's very neutral in general. Does not bother me, does not give me any dysphoria whatsoever. The thing, if I do the testosterone, I will lose the way I sing now.
Okay.
And when my voice changes, I'm not gonna know if I can sing or not in that voice, but that voice may not be pleasant.
Okay.
So the idea of me not singing, that will also rip me apart from my identity.
Of course.
So, like my doctor said, let's do a la carte menu.
Yeah.
What we can, what we cannot. I love my career as a singer. I don't want to lose the powerful moment that you can have when you're singing, when you have people, But I'm doing an alternative therapy.
What's alternative about it?
Well, I'm using very modern therapies that are not actually out there like very much, but I'm using a parobiomagnético therapies
Here in Miami?
here in Miami. I'm also doing a lot of supplements to raise my testosterone levels on my own, so that I little by little start building myself. It may take me a long time,
Right.
and I may not change much
As drastically as you would like to see.
exactly. The other day I shaved for the first time. Ni un pelo tenía, but I was so excited. My wife took a picture. I was so
I saw
happy.
it
I was so
on your
happy.
Facebook,
I
yeah.
used to shave myself like with the other side of the blade before
Yeah.
going to school as a kid.
Wow.
Every day I will do that routine, and I got to do it for real. Ni un pelo tengo, but I may
Yeah.
eventually. But I'm okay with that. I'm okay with my voice. I'm okay. I have gained a lot of weight, for example, in these months. So now I have to rewrite myself, because I'm like bigger, a little bigger now than I used to.
Yeah.
And so I don't want to stay that big either. So it's like,
Like navigating all those
it's
changes.
como un suit, like, ay, córtale acá, bájale acá, súbele, ponle, like, I'm in that
You're
stage.
tailoring the suit.
When you're like 14, whatever, y estás como en tu ugly face.
Sí.
Like, not that I feel I'm in my ugly face, but
You're changing, estás cambiando.
I'm changing, and I'm growing, and then, I don't know, my back is wider, so I'm dealing with all of these new clothes. Like, it's a new you.
Would you feel comfortable saying the name of your doctor in case there's other people out there that would like to try?
Absolutely,
Or visit that doctor?
Yes, his name is Christian Estes, and he's in Miami Beach.
Okay.
He works with his wife Emily Este in Miami Beach. She's an acupuncturist, and they're amazing. He can see if people are listening, not in Florida. He can do Skype sessions and at least help you, navigate the system.
Okay.
It's not a terrible thing if you're, my advice to people with doctors with any scenario where you have to do your research and be very assertive when you ask a question, when you talk, when you request. Like, if you got your name changed or you want your name changed, be accurate, be upfront, demand in a very nice and diplomatic way what you need to get. Because if you're shy and you have like your lower voice and you feel that you don't have the right to occupy the space, that's when people think they have the right to attack you, even if they don't know why they're attacking you.
Right.
So it's important to occupy your space. And hi, I'm here to do this, I need this,
and just inquire.
Yes, and we've been searching for doctors. I may end up doing this in San Francisco, but for example, the other day here in Florida, my wife was asking for an appointment for me at a doctor, and she was treated horrible there, and it was Dr. Garamone or something like that.
At the office?
Yes, and so...
By the actual doctor or the staff?
No, by the staff.
Okay.
And so, if you're going through all that you have to go through, and you
don't
have
be an asshole.
Don't, you're going to get a lot of money from us. So, we are clients here, and I wanna educate my community, everybody in general, undocumented, whatever. When you feel estás como que en la otra parte de la sociedad, you feel that you have to ask for permission.
Yeah.
No. If I'm here to, you're going to do a surgery, I'm going to pay you for it, or my insurance is going to pay you for it.
I'm not asking for a favor.
Acá no venimos de gratis. And
Sí.
there are states that will do this for free. Florida is not one of them, So if you have a client, whatever, treat people like people. I always say that.
Absolutely.
It's treat people like people.
Well, we only have a few minutes left, but I did want to talk about your Sobreviviente project quickly, and about what else you have going on now.
Well, Sobreviviente was born because I was abused by my mother for about 16 years, and I was sexually abused too by her favorite nephew, and still the favorite nephew. And I wrote a song, I recorded the song, and then I thought that was enough, but I decided to do a music video like years later because I saw some girls in Bolivia singing my song and at an event against domestic violence. That music video became a milestone for me because I got to meet women that had been abused in different ways, different traumas, kidnapping. We even have one of them that had a boyfriend killed by ISIS. Okay. So I was there with them, and the pain and everything, and todo. That has become for me the way I healed about my childhood. And then last year I did by mistake, really, the stand-up of Sobreviviente that you saw was by mistake. Gannett from Thoward asked me to do a piece on it, and I did it, and it was funny. It was not my intention. I'm very sarcastic, and it was funny. So basically, I tell my story. Please watch it in YouTube, Sobreviviente stand-up. I talk about the experience with my mother surviving and how I feel very cocky about surviving. So I already had, that training to survive. I survived horrific things in my childhood.
Mm-hmm.
So this is nothing,
Yeah.
So I was already,
dealing with that,
very strong to, And then now we're releasing a song very soon. The music video is almost done. And with that video, I want to...
As you crack your knuckles?
Yes. I'm actually portraying a woman. The most feminine woman ever.
Wow.
And it's for me, my thank you, in a way, my satire of what I did as a woman, combining all the feminine things a woman can put on, also showing my capacity to become a woman whenever, and probably the last time that my breast will be seen in a cleavage.
Wow.
So it's my...
Una despedida.
Es una despedida, and And I thought, people are going to be confused because they're going to be like, ay, tanto nos ha dicho que le digamos Valentín y ahora sale vestida de vieja.
No importa.
But, for me,
it's a symbol.
The art, it's something else. Has nothing to do with my gender in la vida. I will do, I'm very, I like to play with things and art and things. So, that will be the first surprise y de ahí viene mucho más.
Valentin Mera, te felicito tanto. I'm so
Gracias.
happy for you.
Thank
I'm so
you.
happy that you were here. Thank you so much.
Thank you, everybody.
Yes, thank you, everyone. Thank you for listening to Meet Them Mondays on Jolt Radio. Tune back in July 9th and 23rd at 7 p.m. for new episodes. Listen to all past shows on roomfreerights.com. You can find me on all social channels at Room Free Rights or at Meet Them Mondays. I'm your host, Christian Portilla. Signing off.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Oh, that was amazing. Se nos fue la hora volando.
Qué bueno, qué bueno.
Thank you so much. Thank you everyone who watched our Facebook Live. If you want to stay in touch with Valentin, I have everything linked on the site. Obviously, Valentin, you're tagged on these videos.
Yes. Everything is the Valentin, THE, Valentin Mera. My website is valentinmera.com, and that takes you to everything. In IG, in the Instagram is the Valentin Mera. Twitter, the Valentin Mera.
Yeah,
and even Facebook is the Valentin Mera, but it will show Diana Mera. So it's okay to like.
Yeah.
The name will change soon.
Yeah, I will. Facebook, listen up.
Yes.
Thank you so much, everyone. I appreciate you all tuning in.
Thank you so much, Christine.
This was so important.
Happy
Pride.
Yes, happy Pride.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Check you later.